guys, welcome back. Welcome to Runnin Redwood. Today I'm joined with,
Leia Weiss.
and we're going to be talking about her journey as a student, as an individual involved with Yearbook, and her experiences with Yearbook, taking that in and out of the classroom. So, without further ado, can you tell us what grade you're in, what you were involved with at Redwood and outside of Redwood?
So I'm a senior right now. I don't play any sports, but I'm involved with Yearbook, and I'm currently doing an internship with Lifestyle Magazine and Topograph.
Yes, so that's really cool. And that's one of the reasons I wanted to bring you out here, because it's not often that you see a student take their passion and implement it outside of the classroom, because they're so focused on making sure that one thing is done right and giving their 110%. But obviously, you're doing that for both things.
Yeah.
So, how did you get involved with that, and how did you decide you wanted to do that?
Well, I've always had a love for like the business side of things and the marketing side, really. So that's actually what I want to major in. And
wow.
for the internship, I just really wanted to see if I was fit for it, you know? So it's more like a trial run to see if I actually really enjoy it, and I love it so far. So it's been going great.
So, how long have you been doing that?
The internship, I just started this year. So
That's so fun. So, what are your post-high school plans? Because you're a senior now. And then also in Yearbook, what's your position in Yearbook?
I'm a chief editor in
Chief
Yearbook.
editor.
Yes.
So, how are you going to take that and do that in the future?
Well, I really want to take in like the side of the marketing and the editing and like how it all, like the layouts and how everything looks, because I love that part, and I really want to incorporate that into my life. And so I'm planning on attending Biola University, and they have a really good business and marketing program, so I want to go there.
Definitely. Are you taking any other classes at Redwood that you would urge students to take if they're interested in something like that?
Take Mr. Shefferly's AP GoPro class. I have learned so much. It's a little difficult, but it's so helpful. I love it.
It's worth it, because the time
really
that you input
is.
into it, you gain what you put in.
Yes.
How would you say that you stay well-rounded? Because obviously you're taking on a lot of stuff, and you definitely have to delegate your schedule. Yeah, tell me a little bit about that.
I try to take things one at a time. So if I think too much about like tomorrow I have this, and this, then I get too stressed out, and I'm like, Leia, you can't think about that right now. You can't do anything about it. So might as well just do the one thing that's coming up and just finish that. And then you can tackle the next task.
Exactly. So what's your typical routine for a weekday?
So I go to school every day, but on Mondays and Wednesdays I have my COS class. I'm taking accounting, which
It's going to be
is
worth it.
very hard.
Yeah.
But then on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays I have my internship. So
Oh, that's so exciting.
it's fun.
Have you urged any of like your fellow Yearbook I guess staff to maybe looking into internships, or
Yes,
how did you
it's
approach
super
that?
helpful. So actually, my mom knew the person in charge of Lifestyle Magazine, so she got me an interview, and so from there it just kicked off. But it was very helpful. So try to branch out and get stuff done now rather than later.
Definitely. So, being a chief editor in Yearbook, co-chief editor, how would you say that you took those skills that you learned in the classroom and applied it not only when you're talking to students, but to people outside of Redwood's community, like talking to people in Visalia or helping design a page? Like, what was your role in that?
So as a chief editor, you really need to be a leader. That kind of comes with the territory, and it's really difficult sometimes to balance being a good leader and trying to get everything to look good. Sometimes you need to let stuff slide. So I don't know. It just needs to be a good balance. And
How have you applied that balance in your life?
I don't even know. I just try to slow down, try to let things slide, try not to be too perfectionist and stuff like that. Yeah.
Well, it's hard sometimes because you have this idea in your mind that you want to pursue something or invest a certain amount of time to designate to ensure stuff is going well. And then especially when you're a leader type, do you want to talk about how you're navigating that, especially with it being your first or your second year in Yearbook and first year as a chief?
One thing at a time. It is very hard to looking at the whole yearbook. It's hard to try to tackle it all at once. So you need to go 1 week at a time. You need to go 1 day at a time, really.
Definitely.
And
Definitely. So as a senior, how do you feel like you're finding this balance and making sure everything is good in moderation with your schedule and accounting for senior type things?
I'm not any great at anything, so I try to just do the best that I can do, because if I try too hard, then it just turns out bad. So I try to just do my very best and don't beat myself up over it if I don't do good. So yeah.
What advice would you relate to your peers, having this experience with leadership, but also in a place of having to, you have your advisor, Mr. Feehan, and having to look up to him for guidance at times?
Yeah. I don't know. Just try to work as a team. It's all about teamwork, and you need to really try to listen to other people's ideas, but also stand up for your own. So.
Yes, and how does, because obviously you have to work with other people, and being a chief, a co-chief, how do you work with your other peers, like you mentioned Natalie Nelson, and Aaliyah.
Yes.
So how is it working with them and navigating these, uncharted waters with them as well?
Yeah, so it's all of our first times being chief editors, so we kind of didn't know what we were doing at first, but it was really nice. We got letters from the past chief editors trying to explain, and really it's a lot of trial and error. So we've all learned our strong suits. We've all learned stuff that we're not that great at. So yeah, it's good.
Great. And how would you take your design elements that you input into the yearbook? How are you kind of scoping out your life like that? How are you designing the life that you want to live and investing that time of energy and passion into things that you're interested in?
Well, I just try to give everything my all, and with the yearbook, that's definitely something that I've really worked hard on.
100%.
And also with my life, I just try to give everything that I've got.
Yeah. So how do you find balance in your own life? What are stuff that you do outside of, design and yearbook and your internship? What are other stuff that you partake in?
I don't know. I love exploring, with my family and stuff. We go on trips a lot. So I don't know. That's a good break from the school life and the internship. So it's nice.
Definitely. And I saw that you do photography as well.
I do, yes.
So can you explain to me why you got started with that and kind of the process of going about that?
Well, my mom actually used to take she used to be the church photographer. So she used to take pictures for the church and stuff.
Yeah.
And so I just started really getting into it. But then I really started in yearbook because I figured out oh, I actually really enjoy this. It's actually really fun. And so I learned how to use the camera, how to get the good lighting and stuff. So I don't know. I just love it so much.
Definitely. And I bet for me, for instance, writing is very therapeutic. So how would you say, what is the emotion that you get, the sense of satisfaction maybe that you get from taking photos and doing that type of artistic?
I just like seeing everybody happy. So, for example, my first year at Yearbook last year, it was the very first event that I covered. And I just was remembering oh my goodness, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this. I'm stressed. And it was actually for the HOCO luncheon. And
oh, wow, that's at the very beginning of the year, too.
Yes, at the very beginning of the year. And it's all the seniors, and I was just a little junior, so I had no idea what was happening. And so I just remember coming up to a table of girls and being hey, can you guys do something really weird for me? Can you fake laugh? And eventually it'll turn into a real laugh, And so they did that, and I just remember that was my favorite picture. So that really kick-started oh, I actually really love photography. So it was great,
That's really cool. That's really cool, to see, because everybody has their, moment, epiphany, and they're oh, I just recall walking on the shores of the beach and wanting to take those photos. But that's so cool that you found something at school, and also you had your mom as an influence. How would you say that your mom's an influence in your life?
Well, she came over here. She used to live in Croatia, but there was a massive war over there.
Okay.
So when she was in high school, she actually came to Redwood and attended Redwood.
Wow.
And she graduated with honors. She was the top of her class and stuff like that. So I just really tried to work up to she's amazing. So she's my influence in life. So, and she has her doctorate, her master's. So
that's so
I just
amazing.
try to work really hard at everything I do.
Definitely. And do you have any siblings?
I do. I have 2 younger sisters.
So how does it feel like being kind of this role model that they're looking up to? Because you had your mom, and you're probably their role model. Yeah.
I find myself sometimes being a second mom. I love it, but it's fun. And yeah, one of my sisters actually goes here to Redwood. She's a sophomore.
Oh, awesome.
And the other one's a little 7th grader. So, yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. So that's good that you have, like, her, like, she could follow your footsteps. Is she in Yearbook too, or no?
She is not. She's more of our artist. So she's been trying to do art classes and stuff.
Oh, that's good. Oh, I'm happy to hear that. Okay, well, what else, like, do you want to say anything about yourself that you feel like would inspire people or maybe encourage them to pursue things that are different? Because obviously, if it's your second year being in Yearbook, how did you, like, get into that, and how did you want to pursue that?
I always have, like, my life philosophy is that you need to try everything once. You can't, like, you can't be picky about stuff. You just need to try it.
Yeah.
And if you don't like it, so what? You can quit it. It's not that big of a deal, but you won't know unless you try.
Yes.
So that's kind of how it was for Yearbook. I didn't really know about it, but I wanted to try it, and I tried it, and I loved it, so I stayed in. So
awesome. That's so great to hear. I'm happy to hear that. Because honestly, just like you said, if you don't try it, how will you know if you didn't or like did not like it? You're only in high school once, and if you don't experience things, and if you don't at least like put your foot in the water a little bit, then you're not gonna know. And especially for college, because now this is something that you want to do in the future, which is insane. Like if you didn't take this, like yes, you'd be interested in business, but you wouldn't know where to start.
Marketing and all that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's awesome to hear. It was great speaking with you. Is there anything else you'd like to tell the audience, or anything you want people to know about school, Yearbook, things that you're in outside of school?
Join Yearbook, guys, please. We need more people, and it's super fun, trust me.
Awesome. So, yeah. I know you'll be with Leia. Like, yes. Well, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it. And I'll see you guys on the next episode. Bye.